Red 2 standing by, all for lit and in the green. Welcome back to Mario Golf. We're venturing out to the Boo Classic today, and Maple is going to be my playable character once again. However, it is time to go for a new character, so we'll actually start off... Well, we'll start off with the tournament, but we will be having our match play at long last. So, as I mentioned last time, the Boo Classic is misspelled, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to play through the course first to show you what it's like. Then I'll go through the course, making sure I actually get the gold trophy, being a bit of a perfectionist and trying to get birdie medals. Because you do need 108 of them if you want Metal Mario. While a few people might have nitpicked about Metal Mario making a sudden reappearance in Mario Kart 7, this was the first time Metal Mario was playable as sort of a decomposite character, as they call it, from Mario. Anyway, into the misspelled classic, the Boo Classic. And it's up to you to determine just what a classic is, so look at that glorious fog. So, the wind is going to affect us a lot. So I'm probably wanting to put it about here. We have a bit of thinking to do. Boo's kind of been a mainstay for Mario enemies as it happens. In fact, there have been quite a few Mario enemies that have popped up all throughout the series at different times, and it adds a little bit extra. Some of them are a bit obscure. But I do sort of appreciate the fact that we have all those extra enemies along the way and all those interesting characters. Boos have generally had a fair bit of personality, especially when it comes to King Boo, probably one of my favourite villains in the Mario series. We all know that Bowser's sort of that lovable goof, that guy is a bit of a knock-around bloke, things like that. King Boo goes from being sort of a regular villain to flat out crazy in Luigi's Mansion 2. That's too fast. Thought as much. There's the thing, Nintendo doesn't necessarily do, like, seriously psychopathic villains a lot of the time. Like, we have Dimentio in Super Paper Mario, who is an absolute sociopath. He's constantly scheming and manipulating, he doesn't care about other people, he appears to straight up murder the heroes until you find out that he kept them alive for the sake of his nefarious plans, and he's constantly trying to get the upper hand, and pretty much does have everything under control right until the very end, when he gets stitched up and is actually pretty much shocked at that. It's the one time he does actually lose that usual grin on his face, but he still has one last card up his sleeve, and it's essentially only because of things that he really has no idea about that he gets thwarted. We're probably going to need the 3 wood for an overland trip. Let's try. Timing's alright at least. It's... We're into the abyss. Oh, put me all the way back here. That was not advisable. So I'm going to start afresh. No cheating on this one. But yeah, you really are going to need a lot of precision, and you can't really take big, stupid risks. Now, if I put it about there... So yeah, King Boo is a genuine psychopath. He absolutely loses it after Luigi beats him in the first game. Geez, even that was pushing it a bit. Okay... Okay, we're right on the edge of a hill. This is going somewhere. We went somewhere. We should at least be on a distinctly less physics-defying plane here. So, approach shot. About there. So yeah, seriously, they don't do genuinely psychopathic, insane, menacing villains a lot. And it's really good when they do, because Like, we all know Ganondorf, he's probably going to be up to something, and he can at least look stylish while doing it, but he does have some measure of excuse for what he does. At least he did back in the days of Wind Waker. He clearly explains what he's done and why he's doing it. He understands that that it was essentially folly in a sense. That he let himself get hung up on power and taking whatever he could get his hands on. He knows that he's got a lot of flaws. He knows that he's done a lot of terrible things, but he just can't let go. And that is a really nice characterization element. That sort of more human element to him, as it were. It adds that little something. I think they ruined it by adding Demise in, and sort of the idea that actually sort of everything that all these villains have done. I should have got way more out of that. Every bit of evil that's come from the Zelda series is actually because of this guy. That's really kind of disappointing, because when you think about it, it kind of says, well, Ganondorf didn't really have any hope in the first place. He was just kind of destined to be evil. There was absolutely no say in the matter. Which actually kind of sucks, that the gods have essentially taken away this guy's free will, forced him to come back as a villain who's going to screw everything up for himself and his people, and there's not one thing he can do about it. That really sucks. And it's perhaps more telling given that this is being recorded a little bit after Nintendo's E3 2021 presentation, where we've seen another screenshot of dehydrated Ganondorf, and a lot of people are assuming that in some way Demise is going to wind up appearing in Breath of the Wild 2. I'd be a bit miffed if I'm going to be honest, but then again, I suppose it makes sense from sort of broader storyline perspective, but I just really don't like Demise and that particular concept that much in general. At the moment, it's probably going to take a lot to get me interested in Breath of the Wild 2, because I just didn't really enjoy the first one. It's got some fantastic ideas going forward. There are some really interesting concepts, and I do think that Breath of the Wild is a good direction for the Zelda series to take in terms of style. But I do wish they'd done something different. I just do wish there was that little something more. I'm still not entirely sold on Breath of the Wild 2. I will have to see what happens, but I'm sure there'll be something for me. I kind of feel bad when I mention that I don't like Breath of the Wild, because I know that it's going on with a lot of good ideas, I'm going to be honest. It's, as I said, a good direction for the series, but it and I just don't get on very well. Like, it's not bad. It's not that we hate each other. We're just not... We wouldn't speak... It's like we'd be work colleagues, but we wouldn't speak outside of business hours if we were people. Things like that. So I'd... Probably the best analogy I've got is... Well, that's a beautiful shot, by the way. Probably the best analogy I've got is Adam and Jamie from Mythbusters. They don't hang out outside work. They admit that they drive each other completely batty. But they have incredible professional respect for one another, and so they will cooperate when they're working, and they admit that they've probably rubbed off a bit on each other. But yeah, so that's sort of the thing with Breath of the Wild. It's rubbed off on me. I acknowledge that there's a fair bit to like, but it's just not my thing in the end. I got I liked going over the hills to see what I could find. But I also had the problem that when I did, there was another hill. And that there was sort of more hills. That was kind of a problem for me. I hated the weapon durability because of how pathetic everything was. I really shouldn't have done that. I should have put less power because I didn't think the wind was going to take it as much. But Because I can stand Fire Emblem, because if you give me breakable weapons there, you're at least going to give me the opportunity to kill some enemies with them. Whereas with Breath of the Wild, it sort of felt like, let's kill this enemy, take their weapon to replace the one we broke killing it, kill another enemy, take its weapon to replace the one we broke killing that, and so on. Like, they're obviously a bit more durable than that, but there's not really a good balance. I suppose I'm just being a grumpy old man in some senses. Like, it's not horrible. It could be worse. It could be a lot worse. It's just me being a bit pernickety about things. So yeah, I'm still not sold on that. I admit I wasn't sold with Kazuya Mishima in Smash, but I'm not a huge Tekken fan. I'm not a huge Smash Bros. Ultimate fan. I'd much rather play 4 in all fairness. But I get that, well, if they're going to combine with all these different fighting games, they may as well go with one of the big franchises, so I probably wouldn't be surprised. That was surprisingly terrible. I would not be surprised if, like, Dead or Alive or something like that turned up. I mean, Tekken has crossed over with a few fighting games before, like... Oh, come on, chip in, yes! I did not... I totally meant to do that. I totally meant to do that. That was completely planned. I channeled the spirit of Wario. I meant to do that. Now I'm not allowed to complain about the AI doing stuff like that for a long time, am I? Because I just hid and hoped. But it worked, and I still can't complain. But yeah, Kazuya Mishima, pretty good representative of long-running franchises. Now, we did have Heihachi in Soul Calibur 2, the PlayStation version. The Xbox version got Spawn, Todd McFarlane worked on the design, and the GameCube version got Link. And Link was a hell of a lot of fun to play as. Not necessarily combo heavy, which could be a bit of a problem in some fighting games, but specialized for a lot of matches, specialized for quite a few matches in, oh shoot, what was the name of the mode? It was like the adventure mode one, the one where you go through all the different, it's like Chronicles of the Sword, but the Soul Calibur 2 version. I've just blanked out on it, but anyway, Link was a hell of a lot of fun with that because his arm twist was great for throwing people out of the ring. That was such a fantastic throw. Like, if you could maneuver your opponent close to the edge of the arena, even if they were kicking your ass, you could just go, okay, out you go, and there you go. Basically, you had them stitched up. Well, let's see. That actually turned out to be a decent shot. So yeah, that's the only real fighting game experience I've got. Smash and Soul Calibur 2. Maybe a bit of Tekken here and there. I can admit that I've played a bit along the way. Just sort of, I don't know, button mashing a bit, using characters, using random characters here and there. For example, I think in some of the later ones, I used Dragonov. Most of the time, I've used Christy Montero. But yeah, I think we're going to have to go with this. Because this one can be pretty tricky. It's quite deceptive. So about here. But good timing.
Nice shot.
That worked pretty well. So yeah, not super hyped for Smash, but then again, it's more the fact that I just don't like Smash Bros. Ultimate for a number of reasons more than anything else. It's not necessarily a problem with Kazuya Mishima because, like, as I said, great fighting game character. I do kind of have a problem with the reveal trailer. The bit with Kirby was funny, but it's like, Marth got thrown into the volcano. Just hold on a tick. There we are. Marth got thrown into the volcano as a nod to all those people who complain about quote-unquote anime swordsmen. That's probably why he wound up getting killed. Pit, Captain Falcon, and Min Min, insist that those were deliberate choices. Nintendo was basically saying, these franchises are dead, shut up, and don't ever ask us about them again. Which is really sad, because as you know, I am a fairly ardent F-Zero fan. And I am actually going to put my money where my mouth is and play an F-Zero game sometime. Oh dear. Gods above this. Where do I put this? I can't get an overview of the course, so maybe if I aim about here and just pray. That is going out of bounds, isn't it? So even the wind couldn't bring that back. Wait, oh, they put me in a better spot. Alright, so probably about there. Power! Well, looks like we're getting a bogey on this one, which is a bit unfortunate. So, yeah. Anyway. So, the bogey theme, which we probably haven't heard that often. My brother and I tended to nickname this Luigi's theme because whenever he plays, he usually winds up doing something funny but stupid with Luigi, and for some reason only with Luigi do things go wrong, and he'll wind up having to putt for bogey. Just Luigi. For whatever reason, just Luigi. But that's half the fun of it. The character and mystique of the weekend warrior. It's like what I mentioned last time in the last installment of this with Yellow Tie Donkey Kong from Donkey Kong 64 multiplayer. You've got to have those running gags you can just bring up and have a good laugh. Things like that. So yeah, basically, we've had that. So, we had Smash, which not as fond of, but it's more an issue with Ultimate, and I'm like, they may as well go for some of the big-name fighting games, since it is such a huge crossover. Why not work with the legendary names? And yeah, basically the brackets. The brackets were the big issue. The things bracketing the presentation were the issue for me. Wasn't overly keen on those, but there's a hell of a lot in the middle of that was really good. That's not a really good shot. Like, for example, if you love the Danganronpa games, you've got that coming up. We've got probably one of the most unexpected announcements for some time in the form of Metroid Dread, which is amazing. Teased, I think it's in Corruption. We have the follow-on to Fusion at long last, nearly 20 years after, and you bet your bootstraps I'm playing it. I'm probably going to go through another run of Fusion, which I should title Fusion Reborn as a nod to Dragon Ball Z. But basically, I'm going through that, and I'm going to go through Dread as well. Because I'm looking forward to it. There's so much potential with this. It's like, is the Federation hunting Samus down? We know from the gameplay trailer that Adam is still working with Samus. And that's the non-arsehole version. We're getting the really nice one from Fusion. What's that going to be like? What's the case with the Emmy robots? Are they hunting Samus down on behalf... They are Galactic Federation robots. Are they hunting Samus down on behalf of the Federation? There are so many interesting little things that we need to find out. I don't want to spoil anything, but I am so excited for more. I'm really looking forward to this. And what was the significance of the X-Parasite in the little demonstration? Things like that.
Nice on.
I really should have gone further across than I thought, but that's still too much. Yeah. Definitely a lot easier in the later games where you can just adjust for a bit more finesse. But there we go. So yeah, Metroid Dread was really good. Metroid Prime 4 does still exist. I'm a little surprised, but they are really keeping their cards close to their chest because, to be honest, I think they kind of have to. I mean, they did very well at not having anything for Dread revealed. Because I really, really don't like leaks. Oh, if we'd got the timing right, we would have been on the green. As the old golfing joke goes, is my good friend in the bunker or is the bastard on the green? Alright, so we're probably going to need about full welly for this. We are trying. Maybe if I'd put slightly less welly on it. That's gone a very long way. Because I decided to be silly. So about here. Oh! I did that to myself.
Bogey.
Oh no.
I thought the rain was going to require even more putting power, but yeah, that one's entirely on me trying to be clever. Which, as you have probably seen, I am not. So we had Metroid. That was phenomenal. We've got that Worms Rumble game, which I'm not entirely sure about. It'd be interesting to at least try. Got to at least give it a bit of a go. But Worms has never really done that well with the full 3D installments. As far as I can tell, anyway. It'll be interesting. It'll be chaotic, as you might expect, but I'm not sure exactly how well it'll go. Oh, that's terrible. Drop, drop, drop. It's a long way off, but
Nice on.
I'm having to make a lot of long putts. There's a slight break. I think we want about third bar. That's still too much. There must have been a little bit of right to left.
Nice par.
I can at least convert par, but yeah, so we had the Worms game, which was interesting enough. But Mario Party Superstars. Now, you've probably heard grumpy old me complaining about what the top 100 should have been in the last installment. This is kind of what the top 100 should have been. Now, we probably could have done with a bit more expansion, maybe a few more boards. Adding in some more boards along the way would be really nice because we've only got 5. But in all honesty, that's still not bad. We've got classic boards from the N64 era. So good start already. We've got a bigger selection of mini-games. This is legit going to be interesting. This has so much great potential already, and it looks like fun. It looks like classic Mario Party. It looks like screwing your friends over. And I am all for that, as I have said several times. I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's going to go particularly well. I would very much like it to go particularly well. We're going to need one more. Probably about here. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting. That is not a good camera angle. But, yeah, so yeah, it feels like going back to what we used to have while mixing in all the things that Super did, and I'm honestly all for that. I don't mind a few of the refinements from Super. Oh, this is a pretty tricky par save.
Nice par.
Yeah, well, at least I'm still consistent in that regard. Give me that, I'm still consistent in that regard. Man, we're really going to need some good scores to But, so we had that. We had Mario Party Superstars, but I'm really, really stoked for Advance Wars Reboot Camp. I love that series. And, like, it doesn't get enough love. The series has been around in the form of Famicom Wars. It started out as Famicom Wars, but it's been around for quite some time, and it does not get enough love. It's a very good tactical turn-based strategy game with a whole range of different units and different unit specialists along the way as well. Like, it's the sibling to Fire Emblem. And it has not got enough love. Things probably went a bit haywire with Days of Ruin / Dark Conflict, depending on which version you had, because the US and European versions of that game had different localizations. Hey, there we go. I actually planned that one. So there we go. Again, not able to complain about the AI. Probably not winning this one, though. Gonna need slightly better scores. Rightio. Away we go. So yeah, that looks really cool. Like, I was hyped from the moment I first heard Sammy's theme playing. I'm so happy with that. Because the series really does need that little bit extra. I do feel it needs that bit of love. And I'm so happy that it's getting it. It will be really nice playing the first two games. Dual Strike was probably a bit divisive because it really sped up the gameplay. Which probably kind of screws me over a little bit because I love using artillery units. And it probably is no surprise that Grit is my favourite character to play as in the series, because I can take things nice and slow and pick people off with indirect units. And on top of that, he's got that awesome leitmotif with the banjos and everything. There's a whole range of different styles to play, and some of them will actually prove a lot better than you might think. It's really, really enjoyable. I do sincerely urge you... should have aimed it across a bit more. At least I can get birdie. Yeah, I really, really do think you should give that one a go. Like, it looks like they're really polishing it. Like, the unit designs kind of look like they'll be... they're paying homage to the graphical style of Link's Reawakening. And you know I absolutely love that. I'm not going to be able to get to there. I've hardly used any of my power shots. So we'll take that. But yeah, so that was absolutely brilliant as well. And we have a new WarioWare game, which I'm pretty happy for. I don't mind a bit of WarioWare now and then. And it's always a lot of fun listening to Charles Martinet do his fantastic voice work. Wario's a character I really like because I think there's a bit of Wario in all of us, really. We all have those moments where we're a bit greedy, a bit self-centered and things like that. Oh, jeez, that was rougher than I thought. No, I'm probably going to need this one. Could have given it a little bit more. But we've got a workable part for par. It's pretty much straight on.
Nice par.
Oh, yes.
And there we are. We actually tied for first.
Great round of golf.
Maple is
We actually got a gold trophy out of nowhere, so I'm not going to have to rush through that one again. I can get the birdie medals in my own time. Oh, what's this? Oh, we get a credit sequence. That's interesting. Mario Star must be like a bonus one. Yeah, that's one of the... Oh, there was supposed to be a few extra bits and pieces I wound up putting in. But I already got that rendered, so I'm going to have to look through and find out a bit more information I probably focused on cutting things a bit, and I didn't wind up putting in the characters from the Game Boy Color version. They actually are the ones that reappear in... they do actually reappear in Mario Golf Advance Tour. So you'll be playing against them a fair bit. I'll pop their names up after this. Azalea is one of them. She's the one that looks like Daisy. Kid is one of them, who for some reason had dark skin in this, but is fair-skinned every other time. Azalea was just on screen there. There's Sunny and his terrible pun. That's Joe. Wario. Metal Mario, who we haven't got yet. There's Kid. Apparently Joe can breakdance. And Wario, you'll probably be seeing the eagle animation a bit. Metal Mario and Mario are kind of the same. That was a very weird arm rotation there. There's Maple. More highlights of Maple. Presumably because she's the one I'm playing as. Interestingly, there's no unique double bogey animations in these games. There are in later ones. So Maple will jump and wind up making herself dizzy if she gets the eagle. So I'll put the names of the characters up on the screen when we get back to the start. That's a really nice shot. Is Wario picking his nose? So, gorgeously blocky and gorgeously strange N64 graphics. Let's get back to it. So, while we're going into the screen, we will... So, now's a good time for me to put the names of those characters up there. Future me actually remembered to do it this time. Thank you. Now, let's proceed. We are going for a one-player game. Maple is back in action, and we are taking on Harry. Harry does have a stronger drive with a bit of draw, so he's a little bit more powerful than Wario. There is one more character we can take on in the Get Character mode, which I'll get to eventually. So, of course, we'll be going back to Boo Valley, but we do have Mario's star unlocked. So, let's see exactly how well I do. We're probably wanting to put that somewhere about here. And there we go. So, there was a lot from Nintendo's E3 presentation for me. Personally, I didn't enjoy the bits that bracketed it, as I said. But there was a lot to enjoy. Where's that? Oh no, he's landed that nicely, actually. So, we're probably going to want one more club. We're not going to want one more club. About there, I'm going to have to get it in the air because I'm right in a divot. That's hit very nicely. Slight angle. That's not going up the hill. Oh, wind, why did you betray me? Oh, it's not stopping. It's stopped now. So yeah, a fair bit to work with. There were some pretty good games along the way for pretty much everyone, really. I don't think I've got that many problems with it, in all fairness. I personally tend not to go in for all the X1, E3 stuff. I find that a bit annoying. But I do think there were some pretty good results. I still do think, overall, Nintendo does have some pretty crappy corporate practices they need to address. But it could be worse. At least in terms of games. In terms of corporate practices, they have a hell of a lot of stuff they need to work on. They should not, for example, be creating artificial shortages and things like that. Sometimes it is just a genuine supply problem, but for some things like the NES Mini and SNES Mini, they really shouldn't have done that. I thought he was almost going to miss that.
Okay.
That is an interesting character model. So yeah, that first one's on me. I have never really played against Harry, so I don't know what to expect. He's probably going to be a bit more intelligent than Wario in terms of power, because the characters that are longer hitters tend to be a bit smarter and make better decisions. They will, of course, wind up falling off by the end. Whoa, that went what I would call a very long way. That really took the breeze. That's not making it, is it?
Oh, no.
Oof. Really should have gone one more. Usually with these those power gauges, you're going to wind up on the somewhat lower end of things. You know what? I could probably concede this hole quite easily. We'll see where this goes. That's taking a very long time. Because look, he would have to 3-putt, and I don't think he's going to 3-putt. Oh well. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Power! Give me that. Give me points for that. Even if it's a bogey, that wasn't a bad putt. But he is not going to 3-putt this. Like, if he coughs this up, then the AI is being deliberately stupid.
Nice par.
Yeah, so pretty bad start on my part. We have a lot to like about Super Rush, of course, but that was kind of a given. That would be something I'm looking forward to. Given I've been spending my time making all these, where has he gone? Is he in the mushrooms? No, he is on the fairway. So I probably want to put myself about here. I think Harry might have a flatter shot. I'm not sure. That should drop me in a good position. It is, of course, interesting to sort of calculate how everything works and sort of see how everything has moved along over the years too. Because, like, it will be interesting comparing all the refinements in Mario Party Superstars compared to all the old boards. Because there's a certain charm to the Nintendo 64 designs, but seeing them updated with fancy graphics and things is going to be good. And that's kind of an interesting point. It's like, how much do we compare? Well, how much of the old stuff do we want to keep, and how much do we want to improve? That has dropped nicely for him, because it's always a tricky thing when you're remaking really old games. It's kind of an issue I note with the Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia. This is a really good game. It polishes things up nicely, but at the same time, it does kind of remind you that all the mechanics of Fire Emblem Gaiden are super clunky. That it's, like, Echoes is still a fantastic game, but there are so many elements that are just, well, irritating to put it mildly. There are so many bothersome aspects, like the constant enemy spam that the AI gets to do, the extremely large maps. Oh, this is going to be tough, but I think I can make it. And kind of the way all the hit mechanics work and things like that. There are lots of things that are particularly fiddly about the game, even as it improves a lot. So there really is a lot to consider, because like, how well do you capture the spirit of the original? How do you improve on the things that need to be improved in the original and things like that? All sorts of little things that can make fixing up those old games incredibly tough. It's kind of difficult. And I'm going to put my faith in the developers. I generally think that is the best way to do things. Wow. Man, Mother Nature's got it in for me. Some of the shots I think that should make don't. I mean, I might be able to salvage.
Nice approach.
Well, now I can salvage. I can salvage par with a straight one.
Nice par.
And there we go. So yeah,
Oh, yes.
it is obviously going to be very difficult to sort a lot of those things out. Like, it was one of the
Nice
reasons.
par.
Like, I think my brother has played the original Metroid 2 and Samus Returns, but he didn't quite get into Samus Returns as much, so it will be interesting seeing what happens with the Metroid Dread as far as he's concerned. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Has he gone on a holiday? No, that's still fairway. So I'll probably put it about here. It'll be the same thing with polishing Advance Wars. I think it'll be very easy to keep the charm. The mechanics are the overall game mechanics are pretty much timeless. So are they going to sharpen certain elements and things like that? I can probably put it about here and get underneath it. Oh no, that's definitely going into the abyss.
Oh, no. Bad.
Man, I reckon miscuing your shot takes way too much off your power. Okay, let's try this and see if it works.
Nice shot.
Yeah, that overcooked. With perfect timing, that overcooked. I'm probably going to have to... Being 3 down after 5 holes is going to be a big issue. I think he's... Like, that's not going anywhere. Or is that on the green edge? If he doesn't get this putt, if he gets this putt... Okay, so he's playing as badly as I am. But yeah, I'm pretty confident that the Advance Wars this remake is going to go pretty well. Oh, that is a cruel break cruel left to right break. So... if I aim about there... That's the power I want. Ah! That's rough. That's really rough. That's actually kind of unlucky.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
as you can see, there's no unique double bogey animation. What? Okay, like, I'm bad. You've got no excuse for missing that.
Oh, no.
Exactly, Harry. That's... Oh, I think the game is actually actively pitying me now, and that's kind of depressing. Harry should not have screwed that up. That's actually really humiliating. You know you're playing badly when the AI is actually starting to pity you. But yeah, so Advance Wars looks like it's going to be pretty good. It's actually being handled by Way Forward, the developers that do the Shantae games. So that's going to be pretty interesting. I have a lot of faith in that one. Now, if I go about here, that ought to do it. Oh, always just that little bit off. It doesn't matter too much with Plum. Jeez, that was a power shot, and that's... Like, that was very nearly full power and only slightly miscued, and... I'm starting to wonder about this game. It is brutal if you miscue. And if you've wondered why I like playing characters like Plum, it's because if you miscue, you don't get stitched up anywhere near as much. Rightio. Let's see what happens. He's going for the same tactic I did. Interesting play here. Now, about there. And that should be good.
Nice par.
Oh, yes.
Lucky I got away with that, I think. Yep, I think it's actively pitying me.
No.
I should not have won that. We should have halved that one. Yeah, so a lot to look forward to, honestly. Everyone's going to have the things they like and dislike, and I suppose I'd be interested to hear what yours are. What did you enjoy? What did you think could have done with some improvement? Just be civil about things, because there's no point arguing with one another. We really shouldn't, unless it's a really, really genuinely bad take on things, then we definitely should not be mocking each other's choices. There are some things which are going to be undeniably terrible. That is just the reality of things. But we should try our best to be respectful to one another when we're discussing things like this, because we're all going to have different tastes. That's not a bad shot. I will be playing Super Rush, definitely. We'll get to that in due course. Ha ha ha. There are so many things I've got planned. I've got to do some level grinding in Heart Gold version. I decided to check where I was, and is Harry... He very nearly went off to space. But that is a terrible lie, and I'm still further away from the hole. So I'm going to need this. Line it up! Knock it down! Where's the...
Nice on.
Oh, there we are. Whew, that's a toughie. But he'll probably have the ability to get out of it. So yeah, a lot to do. Still got to organise everything for the Donkey Kong games. Jeez Louise!
Excellent.
Okay, charity time is over. Whoa! Oh, very nearly missed. You've got to tap in.
Nice birdie. Okay.
It could be interesting to play as in later competitions. Alright. So, I can probably go straight. That's going into the abyss, isn't it? That's not going... Okay, when I said it was going into the abyss, I didn't mean it was going into the abyss on the other side. Jeez, I'm crow.
Nice shot.
We've both gone to space. Good thing I didn't hit underneath it. I would have wound up in Wales. Yes, apparently, according to all my strange logic, Wales is closer than space. I don't know what I'm talking about right now. I am at least on the green. Am I? I'm somewhere near the hole. Well, this has turned into a very strange game. We have both played kind of horrifically. Okay, slight left to right break. Nicely done. Very nicely done indeed. So, well, with all that run and done, I suppose it's just sort of thinking about whatever comes to mind. I'll admit that I haven't really gone in with a plan. I intended to do heart gold, but the problem was that I didn't really have everything I needed for it. At least I have to do a bit more level grinding. So if I put it about here, I'm taking a big risk on this. Perfect timing. I do need to get some level grinding done so that I can take on Claire. We didn't get anywhere near as much of the wind as I thought. So that's going to be the next plan. I will wind up taking on Claire. We'll have that particular battle, and then we'll be going back to the Elite Four. I lost some really, really good stuff out of that, which is incredibly frustrating because I wanted to show you the battle with Ho-Oh. Well, when I say battle... Wait, is Harry going into... No, he's in the rough. If I can at least get to... If I can get to about here, I should be fine. Nice timing! So yeah, basically I prepared everything for taking on Ho-Oh, and I pretty much had a hard counter in the form of Hestia, who can take those fire attacks on account of being fire rock. Then I was able to put Ho-Oh to sleep by using Yawn, because that is kind of a perk of Hestia's. That is inching closer to the hole. Still, there we are. So... needed to hit a bit more uphill.
Nice approach.
This one could have been worse, but yeah, so basically what I did was I set out to tank Ho-Oh's fire attacks, used Yawn to put it to sleep, set everything up.
Nice par.
I'm going on about this will be a nice long battle, it's going to be a really good test, and first Dusk Ball. They're kind of overpowered. For a night owl like me, they're incredibly useful. So, it is raining again. So we lost that, we lost the battles with the Elite Four. I was probably a bit under-leveled, so I'm going to come in with a bit more oomph. I keep forgetting I can use power shots, because I suppose, depending on the hole, power shots are very risky on this course. There are lots and lots of narrow areas, and you're probably going to wind up falling off into the very unconvincing fog. Like, about here I can probably get away with one. At least the timing's good. So yeah, I was really sad I lost that, because that was going to be an incredibly good highlight. It just caught me off guard. So we had that, yeah, there was the Elite Four, and a lot of stuff throughout Kanto. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to put those into basically hour-long blocks, because I just kind of want to get it out of the way. I've had so much rotten luck when it comes to Pokemon series. There were issues with things when it came to doing Gold version. Heart Golds had all these mix-ups. I didn't get to use the team I wanted in Gold version. I'm pretty much just at the point where I do want to get it done, because what should have been a really fun passion project has been a bit of a nuisance.
Nice on.
But we will still capture that fun. We'll have the team. We'll have them get stronger. We'll take on Claire. We'll take on the Elite Four. Oh! If he pulled that off, fair play to him. Oh! Nope, I've at least got better at reading those ones. still got to find out exactly how I'm going to get that one more shot up on him.
Okay.
Got to at least get the tie because we are running out of space. So I put it about here. Nail the timing. See, it's kind of disappointing that there aren't more unique effects, but they still have ones like the fireball, for example, the rainbow, and they don't have as many of those in later games, which kind of stinks. They could do something like that, because they've obviously got the customized special effects for characters in Super Rush. You've got Luigi's Ice Flower, you've got Pauline's microphone stand, you've got Waluigi busting his moves. Yeah, I'm in a sort of tricky no man's land. I probably need a bit less. That's annoying. I did not want full power.
Nice on.
Now I've got another marathon putt to make. Not having that same standard of control and not being able to set my shot does get so irritating.
Nice on.
At least it's downhill. Slight left to right. What? Okay. That was very clearly going left to right. And it broke right to left.
Okay.
Oh, I got screwed out of that one. I absolutely got screwed out of that one. Gonna need a hole in one.
Nice on.
Ugh. And that timing kills my distance so much. I'm badly miscalculating. I don't even know where Harry is either.
Nice on.
I'm gonna have to give up on this one. Why have I managed to make the hard part look easy and the easy part look hard? It's unbelievable.
Nice birdie. Okay.
There's got to be a miracle rally in here somewhere. It's like he doesn't do anywhere near as many ridiculous things as Wario. Ah, right. That's a problem. If the wind doesn't take this, then I'm in a lot of trouble. Well, we made it. I probably need to aim somewhere about there. I'm probably going quiet because I'm right in concentration mode now. Okay, how did I wind up in the bunker? Jeez. I'm just, if I use the recommended club, I underhit. Oh man.
Nice approach.
Jesus.
Nice par.
Oh, yes.
Right. Well, he can't miss that. He surely can't screw that up, which leaves me... I have to win every single hole from here on in, or at least 3 out of the next 5. And then wind up drawing a couple. I can't afford to draw any more. I've somehow got to make this work for me.
Nice shot.
Well, that worked a lot better than I thought it was going to. Oh, that's beautiful. That's much better. We're getting...
Nice on.
I've actually got a decent putt for once. What's going to happen here, though? Oh, well, he's not going to miss that.
Nice on.
If he screws this up...
Nice birdie.
Well, we got that one at least, so what's going to happen with this? Yeah, that one was way too that one was too easy. So now he wins. If I don't get this one, if we tie this, he wins in a draw and I have to get everything. Why is this wound up being the tricky bit?
Nice shot.
Rightio, come on, come on, come on. That actually did a lot better than I thought it was going to. I can get this one back. Okay. Okay, arcing a bit about there. Got it. Got one back. Cannot afford to tie, though. And it's bloody raining again. That probably doesn't help me. It's raining and it's windy. This is like the worst attempts to go out and ride my bike. I do prefer walking because it's obviously a bit easier to take the umbrella with me and less dive bombing by magpies. Seriously. They're pains in the backside, Australian magpies. This... Oh... Maybe about here. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on!
Excellent.
Whoa! Okay, that saved a bit. Depends on where he lands.
Oh, too bad.
I've got to get this.
Nice par.
This shouldn't be too bad.
Nice birdie.
One down. I can get this. And this is a tricky one. But no wind. We can both wind up going for eagles. timing's beautiful. No wind. It's just our power. Where's that one going? He's put his a lot further back than I have. But then again, he can probably go for the shot through the tree thingies. That went way further than I thought it was going to. Stop, 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 stop. With so many yards up, I thought that was just going to rocket away. See, of course, it's the thing. I could save scum theoretically, but I'm not going to. So I'm looking for about half power. Oh, oh, oh! If I'd aimed a little further up the hill.
Nice approach.
Oh! If I'd just aimed a little further up the hill, I had that. Oh! Oh! It all comes down to this.
Birdie. Okay.
I have to win this hole. And the wind is in my face. I have to win this hole. It's that simple. If I win this hole, we go to sudden death. All right, you can go out that way. You can see how long it's been. But that's got to be a devil of a lie. But that said, he does have, like, much... does have a much better shot. Oh, come on! Oh, damn it, I've lost it. That one little bit of missed timing. Maybe I should have hit over the ball. Unless I... Oh, no, I have lost this. I needed to at least be putting for birdie.
Nice on.
How do I screw this bit up? Ugh. Oh, wait, I'm in the rough. Shoot. Yeah, there is absolutely no way I'm getting out of this one. So, look. Well, you've seen that match play. I think I'll probably just leave it from here and... Well, frankly, I'll cheat to wind up making sure I can actually win this hole. So, sorry that after we somehow managed to wind up weaseling our way into winning the Boo Classic, I managed to turn out that. Should have paid more attention to where I was. I thought I was closer to the green, but oh well. Anyhow, I will see you next time. I'm at least going to make sure I've got Harry for next time, because you know what? Since he actually beat me, we're going to be using him on Mario Star. Till next time, this is Red 2 returning to base. You know what? Actually, we'll let this play out. let's actually be fair to Harry. We'll play it out, and he'll have his victory. Unless, of course, he screws things up spectacularly, but all he has to do is draw. Let's be fair, let's give him his victory. He's earned this. I didn't play anywhere near well enough.
Okay.
Yeah, so there you go. That's what happens, and well, now we can relax because, in all fairness, I take my loss. I didn't play well enough. I miscalculated on a few things, and well, there you go. But next time, we will have Harry, and we might as well use him because he's obviously demonstrated that he's a bit better than me. That is the advantage of having a little bit more consistency in where you can aim things, I think. Till next time. This is Red 2, returning to base. And I'm still going to have to wonder how I did the hard part easily and the easy part hard.